Hello there. If you can tell, I'm a little busy right now. Now might not be the right time to see me. I just got to the top of this cave, and the warden is right.
Flashback.
If you want to know how I got there, this is it. It all started in this barn. It was Halloween, and I knew on Halloween, zombies, skeletons, and wither skeletons can spawn with pumpkins on their heads, and I really wanted a zombie with a pumpkin head. So, that's what I was gonna do. I went down from the barn, I did a quick breed for my cows, and then I went over to my chest to prepare. Because to prevent the zombies from despawning, that would mean a name tag. And because I didn't have a name tag at the time, I would need to go down to the deep dark to find one. And I knew there was an ancient city, so I could find one there. I did some shield and sword practicing, in case the warden would ever spawn. And I did some practice with my bow. Really only one shot, it wasn't anything big. Just like to get in the groove. And then I would begin descending, but not before checking to make sure I had everything I needed. And, of course, I didn't have everything I needed. There were still a couple needed items. So, I went back to my chest, quickly got those. I finally had some food, and some distractions for the warden, and then I descended the stairs of my strip mine to go down to the ancient city, but not before crafting some torches, because the ancient city's in the deep dark, so it's bound to be pretty dark. And then I'd made it to my tunnel that went to the ancient city. It looked really big, so I went down to start sneaking across the city. I knew there would be one shrieker right here from the start. So, I knew the first thing I would have to do would be to take the shrieker out. Thankfully, the sensor that was next to it couldn't send a signal to any other shriekers because there was none for like a while. But I just didn't feel safe with the sensor still there. So after taking it out, I went over to the chest, found Swift Sneak 1 and Silk Touch. I took all the other random loot, and then when I checked this chest before, there was a pair of diamond legs with a curse of vanishing, but they were pretty good if you don't count it. And I didn't know what curse of vanishing did, so I didn't take them when I first found them. But now that I knew what it does, the worst that can happen, once I die, they're gone. So, it doesn't seem that bad. So, it's a good placeholder. I almost fell out of the city. And then I lit up the little altar structure thingy. And then I left this first structure to go to this tunnel. It was wool, thankfully, so I could rest assured that nothing bad could really happen. I threw my diamond legs on, pulled out my shears, and started getting some wool, because I only had like 3 pieces. Once I had the wool blocks, then I continued going deeper into the ancient city. Of course, on the wool, because very first time in ancient city in survival, so like, I didn't really know what to expect. And then I was hoping placing torches on a wool block would stop sensors from detecting it. No. So I had to take out the sensor, and then I found them. Loads of shriekers. It's a nightmare to go over here. So I had my hoe at the ready to start removing them. This area, it was pretty much a death trap. So I had to lighten the death part. But after removing one, it had sent the signal to a shrieker. So that was my first click. I quickly got out of there. And I didn't feel safe at all. So I grabbed the carpet over here. And because it was planks, I didn't really feel that safe. And after taking them, I regretted it. But I thought I could, use the carpet for a cheaper way of getting up things for, block towering. Or maybe just interior designs or something. So then, after taking a look around, I went up the other staircase. And I quickly discovered a shrieker. I did not want it to sense me, so I got rid of that. And then it didn't send a signal to any of the sensors. I took a closer look at the trap from above. There were 4 other shriekers I would have to get rid of. So I would have to summon the warden if I wanted to get rid of all of them. I think, because the sensors were that close. I found another shrieker after exploring. And then I found another shrieker. But in a very dumb way. I thought I was safe, so I stopped sneaking. Rookie move. Yeah. After the darkness wore off, I went straight over to try to get rid of it. But there was a problem. I couldn't locate it. Because I couldn't locate it, I kept going. And then I triggered another shrieker. After towering up a little to look inside the cave, I heard something. A witch was in there. I didn't really want to battle a witch. So I decided to go back up to the top. Well, at least a little higher before mining again. Because I really needed the cobblestone. Because I wanted the grave to be made of cobblestone. And maybe stone bricks. After getting everything I need, I made it to the top. And then I made my way to my chest and emptied my inventory again. Smelted up a little of my cobblestone in a flash. Boom. I bet that's the quickest you've ever seen cobblestone be smelted before. I then worked my way back to my barn. I knew where I wanted to build a grave, but it was over there. Seeing the squids reminded me that I needed their ink sacs to make dye for another project. So, I killed some squids, bred my cows, and made my way to the grave site. I started clearing away this mountain, and my shovel broke. And I still had this big, it was a decent-sized hill. I placed my furnace and started smelting up some iron. And then I decided while it was smelting, I would do the job with a new shovel. But I had no wood. So, no shovel. So I did it with my bare fist. And I quickly regretted it. So I decided to go find some wood, and I needed some more iron to make an anvil.
1 hour later.
Much harder than it looked. I finally made the anvil, and then placed it. But then I realized everything I needed to apply Silk Touch to a shovel, except the anvil, was at my chest. I was gonna go, but I forgot to get my crafting table and furnace. So I had to run back for those. I did a little tree farming, made a diamond shovel, and then put Silk Touch on the shovel. After seeing that it was affordable, I couldn't really think of a name at the time, and I really just wanted to get the podzol. I mined it all up, and started construction on the graveyard. And then, 3, 2, 1, boom, we're done. With most of it, at least the walls, and the little zombie hut. But now there's the gravestones. I didn't really like what I was doing with those ones. Please don't criticize me about how bad my hut is. It's not the worst thing in the world, even though it's pretty bad. I made some stone walls, well, cobblestone walls to be exact, because I heard of a design to make gravestones with walls. My inventory was overflowing at this point, unfortunately. I started working on the cross stone. It didn't look that bad to me, but directly above it I saw the sun. It was setting quickly. So I mapped out a strategy on how to get the zombie in. I've seen plenty of people get zombies like in their iron farms. It's like, how hard can it actually be to just get a zombie inside this little cage? I didn't want a creeper to blow it up. I thought I could name it by giving it an item, so I named the paper Subscribe. Then I worked on gravestones for the rest of the day. But then it hit me just how to build the gravestones with stairs. You'll know how good it looks when you see it. Just like this. It doesn't have the volume of a block, which is good. So if you look at it from the front, it looks like a stone. And if you look at it from the back, it looks like the little bottom part is holding it up. The sun was setting. I was getting super excited to get the zombie. I did the same gravestone idea with the stone brick stairs. And I decided it would be better to do them all the same. And then it was time. I waited to see a zombie spawn. I thought I would have to hunt for it. But little did I know, in a couple seconds, 3, 2, 1, boom. It found me. So I tried giving it the paper. It walked right by the paper. So I went around, picked up the paper, got to the top of the hill, where it was nice and flat, and then tried it again, and he picked it up. It was amazing. Not many zombies have the ability to pick up items, and not all of them on Halloween spawn with pumpkin heads. It was pretty awesome. I went in the cage, got my cobblestone ready to block it up, but he seemed to lose me. I showed him me, and then I went in and boxed him in. I thought I could knock him back into the cage. Nope. So, I got my food out and tried to get away from him so I could regenerate. And he tracked me quickly. And then, he just kept chasing me. And I couldn't fully regenerate, so eventually I just got on the roof. And then, I discovered this. He was able to see me through the slabs. He walked right in, and he would still chase me, like if he could see me. So I tried getting him in this way. And then another zombie came, so I disposed of him, and then went back to trying to get the pumpkin head one in. I killed the normal zombie and was hoping I could get 2 pumpkin heads. The sun was coming and I was worried that they would burn. But they actually stayed in because of the sun. That took a whole night. I tried giving the zombie another piece of paper so it wouldn't despawn. It wouldn't pick it up though. It wasn't gifted like the other one. So, I blocked it off. I had done it. I captured a pumpkinhead zombie, and this one will live forever. Then I realized I couldn't really see them because of the little overhang, so I got rid of that. It looked kind of like a well to me. But now it was time to work on the path. Now, with the puzzle, I just started breaking dirt and then replacing it with puzzle. I wanted to feel like the zombies were infecting the ground, so I surrounded their little well hut thing with puzzle. I filled in some of the grass with gravel because I thought it would look cool. But I only had 3 gravel. So I filled some of it in with path blocks, but I left some space for gravel. There were a couple things that I forgot for this build, so I made my way back to my chest to get the last things. And then, I really wanted to kill the warden. And with getting so close to triggering the shriekers, I just couldn't go without killing the warden. So, I prepared myself. And it had begun. I tried shooting the shrieker at first to summon the warden, but that didn't work. So I just jumped on it. I got my wool at the ready, and then just jumped / stood on it, and then waited. It was a pretty intense time, just waiting on the shrieker. And then, it triggered, and I ran a little bit, and then placed blocks for dear life. Until we're right back here. So, now you know how we got here. Pretty cool, right? And there stood the warden. So then, I sniped at it. It couldn't see me, and it tried to attack my tower. I think it thought the tower was me. And then, in getting up here, we ran into our strip mine. So, I just went up a little higher so I could feel safer. And yep, I definitely made it to my strip mine. It was kind of cool. I cleared up a little space, got some XP, grabbed my bow, and started firing. The duel had begun. And then, it happened. If you could tell, I am shaking. My mouse is holding my bow. And, yeah. So I quickly broke the wall and got down. It was such an amazing feeling. One that I will never ever forget. And there it stood. The Skulk Catalyst. The very common trophy for killing the warden. Yeah, I really got nothing out of it, and I lost a bunch of arrows if everything, but I defeated the warden. I was pumped. It was just an amazing feeling. But there was still the shrieker, so I got rid of that before it could cause any trouble. And that was the last shrieker around the big portal. So now, I could freely run around this portal in the center of the city and just have it as a safe haven. It was just so cool. I loved it. But that wasn't all. Oh, the catalyst. I've never seen the bottom of one. It looks kind of like a tic-tac-toe board. That wasn't it. I'll see you at the surface. We have a graveyard, so now the Skulk Catalyst goes there. So I quickly ate, and then the grand tour of the graveyard will begin shortly. Here's the entrance with a skeleton skull. Our first grave, the warden. Our second grave, the pillager patrol. There are a bunch of empty graves that aren't really graves, they're just there for aesthetics. And our zombie. This was a really fun episode to make. If you enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe, ding the little bell notification so you don't miss a video when it comes out. Peace.